Hi, this is Chris from Chrisalexmodeling. This is a review of a new airbrush I've purchased for doing the online video tutorials. I've spent about 2, maybe 3 weeks going through all the airbrushes, the ones that are a reasonable cost. There were several things that I actually needed from an airbrush, and after going through everything, this is what I came up with. This is the airbrush. The brand is VEDA. So I went through several other brands. One overriding factor that made me go for this one, I needed to be able to get something from the UK, something that I could actually get spare parts for, any spare part that I need, because I know during the tests I probably will damage several parts, but that was all part of the test that I mentioned probably a month ago when Alex did a list. He said we'd do some tutorial videos on airbrushes and certain things we're going to do with them. So I needed an airbrush that I didn't have to send off to China, and if anything went wrong I'll be able to get parts from the UK without having to wait weeks from China hoping they were going to fit. So this is the one. I'm going to say the model number, I will tell you, is a WD-180. Price of this one was, to tell you the truth, it's very, very competitive. It was £21. You know, for an airbrush with the features that this actual airbrush has got. A quick look, I've only seen it like here. It's fantastic value for money. I just hope it performs as well as it looks, but we will find out, I assure you. Right, quick look at what we get in the box. The airbrush, a quick release which I'll put on, which goes on for being able to connect up to the hose much quicker and easier than screwing it on and off, especially if you've got several airbrushes. Just makes life easy. So that was a must. There are several different designs of this part here, the male part. Some of them go down into more of a taper point, and they tend not to be compatible with the majority. I think Harder and Steam back their own, it only fits their own couplings. This one is a lot more universal, so if it's the one that's parallel all the way down with a ring, which shouldn't be a problem for any of my quick release adapters. Also in the box we have a spanner. The spanner is for changing the nozzle, which we will definitely be using at some stage. Put it back in before we lose it. Also a nice touch which you don't always get, or if you do get something, it's always in Chinese, you can't read. English instructions, how to spray, basic, how to clean, clean liquids, thinners, banana oil, alcohol. So you can use thinners. It doesn't say what type of thinners, but it says thinners. Size and dimensions of the fluid cap, nozzle sizes, etc. And then a stripped down diagram with all the parts listed, so if you do need to order a part, at least if you look on this sheet you know what the part's called. So the only problem you'll struggle with is O-ring, because I think there's about 10, but each O-ring is got a specific name, but normally the O-rings come in sets anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Right, if I hold it like this, probably be easy. It might be a bit awkward because we might get a bit of a reflection. It's actually light outside, so we've got some light coming through the window. So that's the airbrush. We have got a terrible reflection, but sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. The finish on it, chrome, looks very nice. No, by the looks of it, defects on that side at all. Same again. So you've got the name. It's acid etched or something into that side. everything looks. First impressions, you know, it does look really, really nice. Finish looks quite good on it. Trigger movement is nice and smooth. No problem there, no sticking, no nothing. It actually comes, if you look, with a crown type cap. The cap's designed to protect the needle. There are two types. The other type, let's find one, is that one, which is a solid one. But they do tend to block up slightly quicker than this type. You can take them off anyway, so it's not a problem. Right, features, and then we'll go through something a bit deeper on it. Right, obviously trigger, adjustments on it, rear, this here, if I pull the trigger back and screw that in, you'll see the which is the stop for, let's say, you go down, which is there, pull back, it's dual action, and you pull back, it hits the stop for the amount of paint. So, you know, if you want to limit the amount of paint, you just screw that in, or if you want maximum amount, screw it out, not a problem. Right, that is nice and smooth. In the past, I have had them, I've probably got one here where it's really loose, it falls out. Lots of playing it, look. I'm gonna say, a bit of a nuisance, it does shake itself loose. Don't know how, but it does. Now, trigger, stop. This here is the actual part that locks the needle up. You can say it's a chuck nut. I'm gonna say the needle goes through. Just take this off. Needle goes through the back, obviously all the way through up to the nozzle, and once it's in place you lock it up. The next one down here, this actually, there's a spring in here to put the spring tension on the needle. Just say if you unscrew it slightly, it does actually take some pressure off. Screw it all the way, it's obviously maximum pressure, but you know, there are a few things that we'll go through later on that we can change spring tensions a different way, if that's what you want to do. Here at the front, it's the first time I've had one of these on an airbrush. This here is an adjuster for the amount of actual air. So you can set your main regulator to 25-30 pounds and actually use this to govern the amount of air stroke paint that actually comes out the end of the airbrush. So it's a nice fine adjuster. Then we've got, like I said, the crown cap. Then next to it is the nozzle cap. What I normally do, I'll just have to take the back off here. If I'm messing anything anywhere near around the front, I'll unscrew the chuck nut, pull the needle back out the way so we know it's not sticking out the front, because it does stick through here, and if you do catch it you will bend it. That is just finger tight. So this is a nozzle cap. This does vary, the hole in the centre varies depending on what size needle you've got in. This one at the moment has got a 0.2 mil. This model, which is one of the reasons that I actually purchased it, which made it a lot more universal than the some of the other brushes, this will take a 0.2, a 0.3 and a 0.5. All the needles are available, I've actually got them, the nozzles to match, not a problem, and actually the nozzle cap, those as well, so not a problem. This, so in other words, it's equal to 3 airbrushes in one, for different types of paints and different situations. In the very end, I've still got my cold, so I'm sounding a bit bummed up. There is the nozzle, which you actually undo. Don't normally do it, but let's undo it. I will be doing a series of videos, probably 3 or 4, covering different tests and in-depth tutorials on. I'm good to say this. That's why I actually bought this brush, so I can do them just lightly pinched up. To say that what you'll see is on the very end. I'm trying to drop it because if I do drop it, I might find it. You see there is an O-ring, so it doesn't need to be tightened. Obviously, if you tighten up too tight where there's an O-ring, it'll damage the O-ring anyway. So it's just pinched up. Go too much, you'll either snap it off or damage the O-ring. And actually on this model, which isn't on any of my other models, you can actually undo this part, which is the air cap body. Again, O-ring, so be careful. And also an O-ring in there as well, as you can see. Like I say, I think there's about 10 O-rings on this actual model. See, and everything is just finger tight. I'll say with the O-rings you don't need to tighten too tight. Put this back in without losing it, hopefully. That's all it needs, just a fraction, just to make it airtight. Nozzle cap back on. The needle cap. Then we can actually undo the chuck nuts and push just gently until you feel it hit the stop, then tighten it up. Check, make sure everything moves. That's fine. The only other thing with this, it comes with a cap. Definitely recommend an airbrush. If it's a first airbrush, which this is ideal for, there are some other ones, I'll go through it later on. Definitely recommend it with a cap. When you very first start airbrushing, what you tend to do, I was the same, Alex was the same, we still do now, every now and again anyway. Put the paint in, don't know however you put it, 3/4 of the way up. Start airbrushing, half the paint comes out. So either over your model, over your hands, or over the bench. So you are actually better off having it with a cap. I've got several airbrushes and some of them don't come with caps, and to tell you the truth, it can be a pain. It really can. So that's another good point. And one other reason I actually picked this one. Here, when it autofocuses, you can see, oh, you won't see anything move anyway, the needle goes through, that's the needle there. Let's get a pointing implement. If you got one, you could see probably. There's the needle, the part there. Here, this arrangement here is the needle guide. What it is, it's like a threaded bolt with a hole through. Like I say, the needle goes through it, which guides the needle guide. And this side of it, there's an O-ring. And if you tighten that up, it obviously seals the O-ring in the actual body. And the needle goes through the centre of the O-ring to the front. Because when you put paint in, obviously, this chamber here will be full of paint, and it's that O-ring that stops the paint running through here and spilling. Also makes everything airtight, sort of thing. So on this model, we can actually see it. So during the tests that we'll be doing, some of the paints are prone for damaging O-rings. This gave us a perfect opportunity to see whether it does or not without completely stripping the gun down. Because on the other types, which I'll show you, like on that, there's no way of knowing whether the O-ring's leaking. The only time you can tell, and I know because it's happened to me, is when you press a trigger, you get bubbles coming up here, or paint all over your finger, because the O-ring has failed. Got past the O-ring and into this chamber, and obviously we've got air messing around here. Like I say, it's in there, but it's well failed if there's paint at that stage. On this one, we can tell straight away. The first drip of paint that leaks, we'll be able to see it, so it's a really good thing. Also here, if you put a screwdriver in there, you can actually tighten it up to pinch the O-ring up more, slacken it off, you know, whatever needs doing. So that's another good points on this particular one. So this airbrush is the only one that fits our bill for everything. All the adjustments we need, spare parts, really important, O-ring replacement, and being able to see. So spot on for everything. Should be able to do every test that we got planned with just this one airbrush. I didn't want to do it with my other airbrushes because, you know, we are trying to damage it to find out what does cause the problems, and worked out fine, and it was nice and cheap. I'm going to say £21. We can't beat that. That's brilliant. I'm going to say from the UK, you haven't got to order from China and pay import duty or anything. You know, I've been there, done it before, got caught out by Royal Mail, the items twice, 3 times the price of what you originally wanted to pay for it, so it eliminates that. Also, I did phone round a couple of companies, asked, you know, to inquire and that, and this company were the most helpful by far. I'm going to say, I think it's husband and wife business. Tim and Alison. I think it's Alison's company, but sometimes I speak to Tim. I'm going to say, really helpful, knew everything about it. Told them what I what sort of airbrush I was after. Came up with this, I'm going to say, and if it did look perfect. I did say, what about spare parts? Because it could be an issue. You do hear of so many people just throwing them away because something silly's gone, an O-ring, you can't get them. Scrap airbrush, works out expensive, throwing airbrushes away for the sake of either a bent needle, nozzle gone, or something silly. But spare parts weren't a problem at all. Everything in stock, so to do the tests I've got 0.2, 0.5, 0.3 nozzles, so we can test different paints and what results we get with different nozzles in and that, because I have found in the past certain paints don't like going through 0.2 nozzle, so that gives us the whole range. Then we've got the nozzle caps, 0.5, 0.2, because I have got 0.3 over there, and then we've got the needles as well. 5, 2 5s there, a 2 and a 3, plenty of spares, just in case. Just say, in future videos I will show you some tricks that you can do to make your needles slightly better than they are. And then there's the O-ring sets, plenty of O-rings. So I will do a video on changing every one of these. Like I say, I'll do several videos. I'll do this review, I'll do cleaning and basic maintenance of the airbrush, then I'll do a paint test, several different paints, using several different sizes of nozzles, see which ones block up, if any, or won't paint. So that should be an interesting one. Also, I'll do a full service one, which is complete strip down, totally, every single part, and all of these O-rings changed. So if anybody ever has a gun, either this brand or one that's very similar, most of them are relatively similar, and you're not quite sure how to change the O-rings, at least I'll do a video on going through, so if you want to have a go, you can have a go yourself. Now, the other good thing about this, let's show you on here, it's easier. We've got a terrible reflection, sorry. There's some of the airbrushes, as you can see, starting 16, 18, 19, 21. Top of the range one, 28. I almost got tempted by this one. Whoops, make it so we can see it. The difference with this one is, if you can see, it comes with interchangeable paint cups. That's the only difference. The basic airbrushes are the same. that might be better for your use. I don't know. For what I was actually going to use it for, because I have got brushes. This is just for test purposes, really. I didn't bother with that one. Let's go back. Spares. Let's have a. Let's see if I can. Spare parts. Oh. If you look, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5 for the 180. So if that's for this particular one, it's £6.95, and you get the needle, nozzle cap. All of them for £6.95. So you know you pay more than that normally for just the one item for most brands. So that's really good. Let's have a look what else we've got spares ways. We've got the nozzles, £2.95. You know, it's actually, you know, same prices as China, but in the UK. So if you live in the UK, it's brilliant. I do think they ship worldwide. You'd have to check. You go say, I've spoken to them a few times, but obviously I didn't ask things like that. I was just more interested in the airbrush. Needle caps, £2.95. Very rare you damage those, but you may want to swap size. Like I say, it comes with 0.2 as standard, but you may want to put if you're using lacquer or Johnson's Clear, I usually use a 0.5. It gives us a wider spray pattern, so you get a bit better finish. Replacement triggers, I haven't ever seen them on eBay before, and also the valves, let's say £4. The tops for the airbrush, and the actual O-ring sets. O-ring sets are only £4. So spares wise, they're all there, available, and nice and cheap. So what I'll do, I'll actually put a link for the company. Because I was well impressed. You know, it's very, very rare you find somebody that you can actually talk to. It's normally just order off the internet and you can't ask any questions. So it's definitely worth, if you're thinking of an airbrush, or you know you're a beginner, new, or even if you want spares, and it might not be for this specific brand, they may have something that's compatible. It's definitely worth a go. You say the price of the parts here, you're going to be paying more than that shipping without the part from China and waiting weeks for it. So what else can I say? Well, no, what I can do. One other thing. I don't think it'll make much difference to most people. One thing I did notice when I picked it up for the first time, it did feel quite heavy, but there's only one way to find out, so I've decided that with the camera we'll pick this up. You can see 0, 0. 121. Make sure that wasn't 0. Yes, it's all good to get it to balance. 121 grams. So we'll compare that to, say, this one. Okay, 123. It's actually lighter. Surprised me. Because actually, on this one, you have actually got more. If you look, you've actually got the valve mechanism and that. It is actually lighter than one without, so I don't think it's going to be relevant. Now, these are obviously more expensive airbrushes. This Neo is more than double the cost. That's 93. It is slightly lighter, but as you can see, there's no adjustment on it at all. No trigger stop, no air. So I can understand why that's slightly lighter. And this one is more than 4 times the price. Still, again, no adjustments. So, and that one's 101. So weight wise, it's not too bad. It's, you know, about on par with the rest of them. Nothing overweight or anything about it. Not that it'll make any difference, you know, for how long you've got it in your hand. It's couple of minutes, have a rest, couple of minutes, have a rest. You're not painting non-stop for hours on end, so it really wouldn't matter. But I thought I'd just have a quick look, just in case it was relevant for somebody. So that's a quick look at it. Looks really nice, because the finish is really good. Everything seems to work. Everything's nice and smooth. Yep, it's nice and smooth. It's not loose. So that's fine. One thing that is different on some of them. Now, this airbrush is a copy of the Iwata CM Micron. £21. The Iwata £350. So there is a slight difference in price. So I presume there's going to be a slight difference in performance, but does it justify the extra cost? This is what we're about to find out. Or will this do 90% of the jobs? You know, I'm not an artist, I'm not even that good at airbrushing, but I'm going to give it a go. Now, one thing that probably will be better quality, the actual finish on it. I don't know if it's nickel, chrome, I think it's nickel inside, to tell you the truth, in there that they do. And what we'll find is the coating will wear away, because I'm actually on this one here, Neo. If you look, it's worn away already. Sad to say, but it's already worn the coating away. That was after 1 month, and then this is twice the price of that. So the chrome on this probably isn't any better. And from what I've read and heard, this Iwata is made for Iwata, so it's not actually their own airbrush as such, so it could actually be coming from the same country as this. I don't know, but it is more than double the price. Now the difference is this one here, it hasn't worn off. These two we had at the same time, but this one was double the price of that, 4 times the price of that, so you'd expect it to last a bit longer. So, well, it doesn't make any difference if the chrome or nickel plating does come off. It doesn't stop it working or cause any problems. So, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix a bit of paint up, and the be all and end all really is whether it sprays. So, I'll mix a bit of paint up. I'll get a piece of paper and we'll do a quick test in front of the camera to see what sort of spray pattern and if it actually works or any problems with it. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. So I'm back. Now what I've done, a small amount of Tamiya XF18 black. Now as thinners, I haven't used Tamiya's thinners. I'll use what I normally use, which is acetone free nail varnish remover with a bit of clear mixed in there, a few drops of clear, 50-50 nail varnish remover to Tamiya. Now it's not the easiest paint to airbrush with. I'm used to it. It is very, very quick drying. So how it will perform in this one, I'm not quite sure, but we'll give it a go. I wanted to use the paint that I normally use, so that, you know, I know the normal results that I get using this mixture. It's pointless mixing something different out of the ordinary. It will be a fair test. So we'll give it a go. We'll just try some basic shapes first. No problem. It's awkward here with the hose on the bench. I'm not used to it. I used to different spray doors, but I thought, well, they're all nice and consistent. It's not stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, which is good. Let's try adjusting that and opening that, so I've got a wider pattern now, and we'll try that. It's nice and consistent. We'll put the air in a bit. I haven't messed with one of these before, so I'm playing with it myself, so we'll see what happens. No problem. Let's open it up. And what we'll do now, we'll go for see whether we can get some fine line detail. For this you have to go quite close. With an airbrush it takes a little bit of getting used to, so you know, quite fine. So I'll get right a bit. Make paint. No. One thing that this Tamiya does do, doing really fine all the time, it can block it up because it dries so quickly. Well, to tell you the truth, it's, as you can see, you don't need it much finer than that. You know, they do define them 1.5 on a few brands, but I think this is fine. The coverage, general use, I can't see where you'd, what we'll do, we'll try colouring in. No problem, nothing extra. Don't know what else to try. See how wide. So this is with 0.2 on. Open the air up all the way. Open the stop up. And like just general covering. As though you're painting generally. No problem at all. So probably not quite so crisp because it's on paper, to tell you the truth. It's going to soak in and not be quite the same effect, but as you can see, seems fine to me. So no, we're really pleased with that. I'm going to say goes nice and fine. If you do want fine, you know, if you want to go halfway, or no problem at all. I'm going to say, well impressed with that. I'm going to say, takes some getting used to. I'm going to say it's all good here on the bench. It's not the normal that I'm used to it being up in there, so it's a bit awkward for me on the bench, but I'll be happy with that. You know, I couldn't have, I'm not good enough to get any better than that anyway. Even if I had a £350 airbrush, I'm still going to be wobbly lines, and that it doesn't solve any of that problems. The main things to find out are that you can actually get a wide fan or ultra fine it does come with a 0.3 or a 0.5, so we can get it even wider for lacquers, or I tend to use the 0.3 if I'm using the Model Air acrylics and that. I tend to find on the 0.2 it can block it up. I will do that test at a later date in one of the other episodes. But it covers a range from fine to a nice wide filling pattern. There's no stop-start as you look. They say they have actually gone wider than they actually are, because it's just on some paper. So they've actually gone wider. But as you can see, if I keep my finger still so that the autofocus doesn't keep changing, there's no stop-start, stop-start. You know, it's relatively accurate, but that's just me, not the airbrush. It's not blocked up. Pressure at this was 30 psi, so it was on the high side, but you know, I was able to adjust it with the adjuster. So just put that in the stand, because there's still a little bit of paint left in there. I'll clean that out, so I better clean it out. So just to show you that's actually, I will put a link. That's actually where I purchased it from. So I would recommend it. Trying it, you know, that's straight out of the box, boom, straight away, it worked fine. I will go through all the maintenance on it. I'll strip it down and rebuild it and things like that. But so far, so good. I'd definitely recommend it for the price. Just starting out, absolutely brilliant. You know, should be able to cover anything that you want. It's www.bartshop.co.uk. I did have an email saying that if you go onto their Facebook page and hit the like, there is a competition. I'm not quite sure when it runs out, so I might be too late for it. I'm not quite sure. You'll have to check yourself. But if you hit the like button, there's a chance of winning one of these particular airbrushes, from what I read. So might be worth a go. Having a go. You've got nothing to lose. I'll put the links at the bottom of the video. So that's it for this review. So far, so good. I will start probably next week the other possibly 3 parts on maintenance, some tests, and a complete strip down and overall on the airbrush for people that are interested. I think if you know how it works, nothing complicated, and if you know how to strip it down and maintain it, it should last you years. It's when people just don't maintain them that they have problems. So I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon.